Hey there, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, today we are trying a different approach. I have found that in our earlier format, I was not able to focus on the audience and I was not able to take my time looking at the charts because I was always conscious that we have to end the live stream quickly. So in this format, what we're going to do is I'm going to take my time going through everything, including the news items, and we'll continue longer. We look at pre-market data coming in, and when the market opens around that time, I think we'll decide to close. And anybody who joins in, feel free to chat, because the priority here is community interaction, getting ideas from you and sharing ideas, having discussions. So if you are free, you can always drop in and have a chat. So I'll be doing my normal thing, which I do regularly before the market opens, and your contribution could be somewhat enriching in that process. So that's what we are looking for. So feel free to chat if you're out there, if you're joined the stream. And this morning, I think the markets are looking pretty decent. In terms of my particular position, because as you know, I have shorted the S&P 500, I have shorted the mags, and I've been waiting with knife and fork for the trend to turn. I've been very early to the party, I think. I've been at it for almost 2 months now. But every once in a while, all these shiny objects like tariffs on, tariffs off, and good progress in talks, those kind of headlines keep on pushing the market back up. So there has not been the capitulation that we are looking for. But this morning, I can see that we have the bond yields inching up slowly, the dollar index falling below the support levels. And that has made the possibility that today could be the day. This is the dollar index out here. Let me take you to the longer time frame. Let us do it as a 1 day time frame. As you can see here, in the 1 day time frame, we've fallen below the support out here at 99.180. And our next support is going to be 97.289. So the way I am thinking about this is the dynamics is the same as the yen unwind, because as the dollar index goes down, dollar is weakening against a basket of currencies, and those currencies have investors who have invested in the US. So their exchange risk gets more pronounced. So some of them might decide to take the money out. Hi, Hot Dog, this new format, interactive format. And yeah, I'm trying to take it easy out here and have actual community interaction, discuss ideas. So feel free to chime in and we can have substantive discussions until the market opens. And then we'll decide whether we want to stay on for a little longer or we want to discontinue. So I was saying that I'm looking at the dollar index, and the dollar index is continuing to drop and the bonds are also going up. So my point of view was that this is similar to the yen unwind trade, because as the dollar index drops against a basket of currencies, those investors in those countries are going to see an increase in their exchange risk. So they might decide at some point to pull the trigger and collect the money and maybe transfer it into gold and sell it in their own currency. We'll have to see if that happens or not. These are all small blips. One of the reasons why the market is weak today is because the spat between US and China has grown further. And China has also accused US of creating a lack of consensus and not behaving properly in their negotiations. So this kind of puts a whole lot of uncertainty back on the table. And remember, on the 9th of June, the appeals court is going to give its deliberations and verdict on whether the lower court's decision saying Trump's tariffs are illegal should be upheld. If that is upheld, then I think we'll see the markets jump up a little bit. And later on, they may still realize that all the problems that were there when Trump took office are still there and are much worse because the tariff debacle has already screwed up the back to school market as well as the holiday market. So when that realization comes, the market will come back down again. And in the meantime, the bond market is also going to show what it thinks about the deficits that US has incurred. So that's what I'm thinking is likely to happen. And let us take a leisurely look at all our indices. And I'll show you where the 10-year yield is at. It's picked up 0.73%. That's around 3 cents. That's a decent jump. And we have support from the 9-day exponential out here. And if we are able to confirm this support by staying above this today, then that builds us up to challenge the resistance out here, which is, I think, let us have a look at what this blue line is. Blue line is 10-day. So this is a different indicator of mine, MA crossovers. I'm just going to hide this indicator. I don't want that right now. And I'll go on to the 9-day exponential. So actually, we are below the 9-day exponential. Once we break out above that, and if we stay on top of it, then I think we will find that we are in a much better position. Let me just make this a little thicker so that you can see it on your smaller screens. So I think this should do the trick. So that's about it. So let's go and have a look at what's happening in the actual stocks that we generally track. Let's start off with NVIDIA. Now, looking at NVIDIA, this 9-day exponential moving average is giving perfect support to NVIDIA as of today. We are still above this support. The 9-day exponential is at 133.98. Whereas in the pre-market, as you can see here, we are at 134.26. I have removed myself from the screen so that you can see this window out here, which generally I try to obstruct when I'm here, when my image is out here. So it's more important to see these numbers than to see me. That's what we have here. And Hot Dog, if you have any ideas or suggestions you'd like to discuss or share, it's most welcome because it's a more leisurely session. And we'll see how this works out for all of us. If it doesn't work out well, we'll revert back to the original format where I do a quick analysis of all these stocks and then end the session. So NVIDIA, what can I see with NVIDIA? I still think the chart looks pretty bullish. And if you were to look at some kind of bullishness, we would definitely see a cup and handle pattern out here, which is a very bullish pattern. And that has been formed over a long period of time from 18th of February all the way to May or June right now. So it's a huge, it's a huge pattern. So we can definitely see bullishness, but underneath that, we have all these actual problems, which we don't know how it's going to turn up. If our China problem went away, I can assure you, NVIDIA is going to jump like anything. But nobody really knows what the hell is happening in that negotiation. What is the end goal? What does Trump want? And how China is going to respond. So nothing is out there. Yeah. Hot Dog says, Kathy Woods has bought a whole lot of Intel, yeah, CRISPR. Yeah, she's pretty good with her investments. She has got a huge team. So many people do follow what Kathy Woods does. Maybe we have to take a look at those two charts. She also sold a little bit of Tesla. Yes. Yeah, I think people are definitely trying to get out of Tesla. And I have been very bearish about Tesla right from the beginning of this year. I sold at a loss, and nobody could believe that you could make a loss with Tesla. I was that bad with the stock. I was a believer, held it for a long time. So I don't know why my chat is not being shown out there at Hot Dog. I've been trying to show your text messages, but let us go to CRISPR and Intelia and see how they have turned up, right? So let's switch on to our genomics watch list. Let us first go and have a look at CRISPR. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 1.27% in pre-market trading. And we have this line of support. This is a minor line of support that I've drawn for us. That remains a minor line of support for us. We had a resistance at 36.85 when we finished the market on Friday. That continues to be the immediate resistance for us. And it's a very strong resistance because it is combined with the 9-day exponential moving average, which is at 37.07. So that combined resistance is what we are facing today. And our support is going to be 33.13 or 17. I think I'm personally very bullish on CRISPR Therapeutics in terms of looking at their pipeline, looking at their diversification into siRNA as well. And the fact that they have managed their budget very well, their cash runway is also pretty healthy, plenty of money on the balance sheet, good collaborations with big pharma, and plenty of pipeline items like CTX310, CTX320. Then we have CTX211, which is type 1 diabetes. All of those things are doing pretty well. There is no adverse news about them. Everything is positive. So I would say that I'm pretty bullish, but will I put my money into CRISPR at this point of time? My personal risk profile says that I shouldn't. There may be super duper profits out here to have, but I wouldn't put my money on any of the genomic stocks right now because the risk for me as a retiree is very high. And my personal profile right now is more than 50% in cash. Wherever I have profits, I've already booked the profits. The only positions I have are negative positions. And among them, I have positions with autoimmune, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I've sold off all my autoimmune. And I have a little bit of negative out there with autoimmune. So that's the only thing I think I have on my books at this point of time. And that's a very small holding, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Most of my reds are actually my shorts of Mag 7 and S&P 500. Those are the major reds that I have in my portfolio. So that said, we have Intelia is the other thing that Hot Dog was talking about. Let us look at Intelia, what the chart tells us. So Intelia chart is also looking pretty good to me in terms of the formation out here, but the MACD looks very weak. Momentum is also dropping. So I think that the chart pattern might change towards being bearish. Our support is at 8.99 from our last visit to this chart, whereas this morning we are at 6.99. So I'm going to convert this into a resistance. So that's a resistance for us. So where is our immediate resistance today? I would preferably draw a minor line of resistance out here. And I would say that our immediate resistance is going to be somewhere out here. Let me color that into orange, which is our convention for minor line of resistance, where we have found resistance before. So this seems to be an optimum area to place a resistance. Somewhere in the region of 7.8 is the resistance. And where is our support? I'll just drag this down further. And I'll say the support for today is at 5.83 or 5.85, something in that range. That would be our support. So that's what I think is going to happen with Intelia. And let me go and see what else is there in the comment section so that we can just analyze the stock that our audience wants us to do and not waste times on things that I'm looking at. So if there are no questions, then I'll go and analyze things that I actually am looking at. But I'm always looking at your comments out here. So please feel free to comment. Periodically, I'll look at the chat section and start responding to you. So I'm going to go back into the AI side. In fact, I want to look at the indicators and go to gold and VIX. So you can see the VIX is elevated. It's up 6.19% today, which indicates that probably the market is not going to open green. And if I look at gold, I think gold is starting to show strength. It's up 2.09%. And because this is a tweet market or White House news cycle kind of a thing, and what comes out from that is unpredictable, I'm afraid to get into gold until I'm close to some kind of support. If I'm close to support, then my risk reward becomes much better. Because the problem with gold is that if you get into gold at a higher price, and if it goes down, then it will take a very long time for it to come back and you're stuck. So I wouldn't get into gold at this stage. I've already booked my profits in the past, really good profits, somewhere out here in this level, around 3,352. But no, not even 3,352. I had sold somewhere around 3,087 or somewhere in that range because I was looking at this main diagonal line of resistance at that time. And when we came close to it, I sold off. So all this is something which I had not imagined. So I don't think I'll move into it, but I think gold is getting better. That's where I was thinking that people from foreign countries who are in the basket of currencies against which the dollar index is weighted, they might consider taking out money from the stocks and putting it into gold so that their value is maintained and they can mitigate their exchange risk if they continue to keep the money outside of their domestic currency. And that could be one of the dynamic playing out here. I would like to hear from you guys if you also think the same. Hot Dog is saying, I agree on gold. I would like to get back in, but I'm waiting for less than 3,000. Yeah. So that kind of validates what I am thinking as well. So let me quickly look at my chat side and see what is happening out here. Why I'm not able to show. Okay, I know why. I'm going to get the chat overlay from here, friends, and we will be able to soon see what Hot Dog is telling us. So here we go. Now we can share Hot Dog's comment, and we could be like a regular channel which shows what the audience is saying. Yeah, 100% on gold. Yeah, I think we are thinking on the same direction. So that is the thing I wanted to talk about gold, and I wanted to talk about VIX. Now, put call ratio is something we haven't seen in quite a while. It still looks mildly bullish to me. Somewhere around 0.7, I think, would be bullish. 0.85 is still mildly bullish given the overall environment. Maybe once the market opens and options start getting traded, we might see this becoming more neutral before it gets bearish. So that's my expectation. And then let's go back into AI and let us look at some of the stocks out here. Tesla. So Elon Musk is on the news quite a bit. And I would point out to a news article out here. Just going to take you across to CNBC to see if that news article is still there. The consumer reaction. Elon Musk says he doesn't want to take responsibility for everything the administration is doing. So friends, my personal understanding of US politics the way it is right now is that the press also behaves very irresponsibly, and it comes up with very stupid headlines which provokes confrontation. I don't think Elon Musk is stupid enough to poke Trump. But if you look at the picture that they have selected, the frowny face for Elon Musk out here and Trump speaking out here, it's a subtle message to the viewer that Elon Musk is frowning upon Trump. Now, we know how Trump takes his image so seriously. When people said taco trade, he got pissed off and then he threw up this huge spat with China, which all of us are suffering from. Now, the danger for Tesla is that Elon Musk might end up being on the wrong side of Trump, and Trump and the governor of Texas are kind of simpatico. So they can create a whole lot of problems for his township, for his rocket launch facilities, for the plants out there, and his robotaxi, everything, right? So it's a big risk. So I think that the risk premium on Tesla got bigger with this headline. I don't think Elon Musk has done this, but this is what is causing a lot of problems to many CEOs when they come into the media reports critical of Trump. Elon Musk is trying to distance himself, and that will not go very well with Trump. So that's what I am thinking. And there was another headline about a $25,000 car. Where is the headline? Let me see if I can find it out here. No. The best way to search anywhere is Google. Google does a better search than anything else. So this was the press release that came out in late 2024. 25,000 Tesla is pointless and silly. So it seems that within Tesla, there has been a lot of questioning between Elon Musk and his executives about that statement, because investors felt that it created a lot of money. A lot of profitable business, and killing that particular car was not a good idea. Hot Dog says, regardless of Elon, if robotaxi isn't profitable quickly, it will be an enormous blow. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. See, he has gone into two very favorable jurisdictions. One is Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is a monarchy, right? And they have managed the country very well, very low on crime, with zero tax and everything, right? But at the same time, the monarch has control over what goes and what doesn't go. So the close proximity of Elon Musk with the powers out there gives him a very good place where he can test out robotaxi and make necessary adjustment and make it a success. Likewise, Tesla getting into Texas was also part of the MAGA play, because Texas and Trump and MAGA, they're all one and the same. So he gets enormous support out there. On the contrast, if you look at Waymo has been growing in multiple cities, regardless of whether it is red or blue. It's in Arizona, it's in California, it's in various places. And they're already making a whole lot of money. So the pressure is on Elon Musk to show success in robotaxi, and also not only robotaxi, but also Optimus. Optimus also has got to become the household robot that he was talking about, because I have personally experienced a 25K car that he announced in Canada when Tesla was still an infant. I remember I put my $1,000 deposit, interest-free deposit, for almost 4 years, only to realize that that car is never coming, because they all released everything with bells and whistles, and they said that the economy version will come later. And by that time, Canada withdrew all the incentives that were there for EV purchase. So I had to just cancel my order. So I didn't have any Tesla. I haven't had any Tesla. So that is a track record of Elon Musk saying something and not delivering it, and things taking a longer period of time. And think about this. He wants to do the huge spaceship that they have to go to Mars. He want to make it a success. He's focusing on that. And also, I'm hearing that Starlink satellites are dropping because of some activity from the sun. So he will have to replace those satellites, and also build them such that they can withstand solar radiation of the kind that is making them drop out right now, if the reports are true. So if he doesn't do that in time, then there will be holes in the Starlink service. So that will make him less competitive. And then, because of the position he took with regard to Ukraine and his proximity to Trump, European Union is also incentivized their own companies to start being competitor to Starlink. So they are also ramping up their activities. And India is also trying to deploy some satellites to have a competition out there. So all of these things are happening simultaneously. So he has to be 100% focused on Tesla, and not only the production of the EVs that are already there, but he has also got to keep the margins high by reducing the cost, making it optimum, bring new models to compete with the Chinese models. And remember that because of the toxicity of the current US administration, there's adversarial climate for Tesla in Europe, Australia, and in China, all those places. So he's got his work cut out for himself, and that's going to be a tall order even for someone as brilliant and motivated as Elon Musk. So that's what I'm thinking. And let me go on to look at this chart here and see if we can make out anything. Meanwhile, on this other side, I have got the live pre-market session going on for this is for S&P 500 futures. And as you can see, we are still below the diagonal line out here. Now, I'm going to, for a moment, go back into a single screen format. And I will look at Tesla out here just to have a quick look at where we are. This is 3-minute time frame. Let me go into a 1-day time frame, recalibrate the chart. So this is our chart. So our chart shows that we had gone up rapidly, then come down rapidly along with the market, because Tesla, NVDA, the Mag 7 have been pushing the index. When they go down, the market goes down. So that's the mirror image that we see in both S&P 500 and NASDAQ. We had a double bottom, and we have more than reached the target of the double bottom. And we have this huge resistance out here, which is a very critical resistance. And we are still below the resistance, trying to break out above it. And we have been there for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot of days. I would say all the way starting from 13th of May, we have been above this support line, but below this resistance. So this support continues to be a support for Tesla today until we break down below it. I don't think we are going to break down below it today, but the resistance is going to continue to be 362.08. I suspect that we are going, I think that we may not be able to break through this today, but at the best, we can inch towards it. Now, this was a bull flag that we had out here. Just going to draw a small line out here to show you a bull flag. Sorry. This was a bull flag, and we broke out on the upside. And now that we have broken out, we are testing this support again. I don't think this new one is a bull flag. We have to see if we are going to be bearish going from here, or are we going to form a head and shoulder. That's another possibility. If we form a head and shoulder, then we'll have a target for the downside, and potentially the support will come from here. So that's what I'm thinking will happen. And I'm going to say that the chances of Tesla going down is much higher than up. I might probably go for TSLQ, a very short-term holding, just to make some profits out of there. And now let us look at the other company that I'm interested in, but I'll quickly take a look at what Hot Dog is saying. Yeah, so there is nothing new out there, Hot Dog. So that said, let us go and have a look at the next stock that I'm very much interested in, that is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is also having the same kind of pattern, but it's much more stronger chart out here, because we got MACD is still bullish and momentum almost at a much higher level, though it is dropping quickly. And we continue to have resistance at 140.05. Post earnings, we spurted up and we couldn't keep it up, and we came down again. All of this has got to do with the tariff situation, in my opinion, because the story from NVIDIA is amazing. I'm so bullish on NVIDIA that when I heard the earnings, I regretted having taken profit and sold most of my holdings. I also lost my 5 calls that I had at a strike price of 28.5. So this morning when I opened my portfolio, I would probably find that it is gone. But I have booked profits on that. I had around 4 or 5% profit on that, on those 500 shares. So I made good money out of NVIDIA. I'm just waiting for it to come down so that I can enter back into it. I am thinking that it could potentially find some kind of support at 134.29. Which is, 128.78, which is this line out here. And right now it's at 134.29 in the pre-market session. So with NVIDIA, I don't think it's going to drop very rapidly. It would probably drop a little, consolidate for the rest of the day, waiting for direction. Because right now, I think when the market opens red, then the market will stabilize a little bit, looking for direction. Let us look at the economic calendar and see if there is any impact coming up today. And I'm going to go for the countries. Come on, countries. Clear everything. I have got a high-end GPU on my NVIDIA GPU on my computer, but whenever I have Windows updates, all my systems go slow. I don't know why. So 10 o'clock, we have ISM manufacturing PMI coming in. 9:45 S&P Global Manufacturing PMI final. Is there anything else out here? So George's job opening tomorrow will be something we'll have to look at. So 10 o'clock could be some catalyst. Manufacturing employment is going to come up. Construction spending. So all of these could be a little bit of a catalyst for those who are watching them, especially investors in the manufacturing sector and construction sector. They would probably look at that. But coming back to our chart out here, what I want to do is I want to show you something. Now, if you go into the futures out here and let's go into the indices. I have an observation that I want to share with you. You look at S&P 500, and if this is a long-term chart, 1-day candles, you see we had a huge drop and we have recovered most of that drop. And we are within touching distance of the all-time high. Look at NASDAQ, same pattern, right? But if you go to Russell Index, which is what most ordinary American companies look like, this Russell Index has not gone anywhere near the top. It's actually on a bear channel. And we have this wedge pattern coming out here with some kind of a decision around 28th of July, 2025. Now, somewhere in between these areas is the back to school season. And I'm thinking that that's when the rubber hits the road. And all those people who are politically focused and are willfully ignoring everything that is happening in the fundamentals, they will start feeling it in their pockets. And at this point of time, if the issues are resolved and there is light ahead of us, then the investment community will break out on the upside. Otherwise, we are going to break out on the downside. Now, when it comes to S&P 500 and NASDAQ, as you guys know, the bulk of it, almost 35% of it is the weightage given to the Mag 7. And all the Mag 7 have been at a tier and they have been pulling the index much higher. So it is Mag 7 heavy, which is not an ideal thing. And that is causing the markets to have this variation between what is happening out in the S&P 500 and NASDAQ versus what is happening with the Russell Index. So that's one point I wanted to talk to you about. So let's go back to AI. So we have done NVIDIA and we have done Tesla. The other one I'm looking at is Microsoft, because I have shorted Microsoft after the earnings. So after earnings, we came out here. So I shorted Microsoft somewhere out here at 436.37, only to, sorry, not 436.37. I shorted it somewhere around 459.21 by buying MSFD. So I bought MSFD, which is a leveraged fund. Let me show you the fund itself. MSFD is here. So this is what I bought. And I think I might have bought it somewhere up here at around 15.92. Since then, it has dropped. And Microsoft has been going up, and up. So let me say that I'm a little disappointed that Microsoft didn't come back to test to fill up its gap up. That's what I was banking on. So these are the kind of mistakes I tend to make. I jumped the gun. I was thinking we have a huge gap up out here. We are overbought, so we have to drop down. No, the markets can remain irrational for a longer period of time. And at this point of time, even during the NVDA earnings call, I remember a lot of talk from Jensen Wong about the Microsoft platform. And I think the whole market is looking at Microsoft as a much more stronger and resilient player. And that's why my gratification is delayed. But I'm seeing that this morning we are down 0.28%, but I don't think we are going to fall below the support today. We are still going to be above the support. Our resistance is going to be 467.82. We'll see what happens when the market opens. So that's about Microsoft. Apart from Microsoft, the other one that I'm quite interested in is Google. I took profits on Google. I still have a little holding of Google, which I kept with myself because my purchase price was very low. I'm still holding it. I think Google is valued very well. So Google is likely to be very resilient. That was my thought. But unfortunately, again, I was wrong in this area. Google is still down 2.37% this morning. And instead of continuing to go up, Google has started coming down. My hope was that we would stay above this diagonal line of support out here, but it has come down. Now, I am genuinely impressed with Google, not only from the fundamentals of the financials in terms of multiples, but also I have seen their product and their range. It's amazing. It's amazing range, really good product. They have capitalized on it. And also their summary in their Google search. It's a launching pad. I usually go for Google search to understand, to get a high level understanding and take it from there and go into other search engines and come back to Google for fact check. So there are various search engines and there are various AI I have tried, and each one of them have their positive and negative. For me as a content creator, I find ChatGPT helps me to organize my thought in a logical manner, because when I think, it's like a brain dump. And my earlier scripts always used to be all over the place. But with ChatGPT, I'm able to organize it. I can ask it to give me the logical sequence in which to present something. And there are some times when I'm unable to express a concept concisely and clearly. So I put my concept in my own words and ask ChatGPT to organize it for me or reword it for me so that it's clear, concise, and crisp. And it does a great job. But what ChatGPT doesn't do is it doesn't have contemporary knowledge. For that, I go to Perplexity AI. Perplexity AI gives me absolutely up-to-date information, and I can capture it from there and look at the links that it has picked up, and that leads me to collect information which I can use in order to create my script. And then I can take my script back to ChatGPT and get it to help me streamline my thought process and streamline my script. So I'm finding a value out there. And one of the places where I'm not happy with Gemini, even though I said it's really good with everything, the place that I'm not happy with Gemini is the fact that it's very conservative. If any topic is even slightly controversial, it doesn't want to give you any information or input. It will just say, I'm just a LLM and I cannot answer this question. So that's what Google AI does, the Gemini AI does. But the problem with ChatGPT is that its context window is very limited. Its memory is limited. So if I have a style of speaking, I want to explain it to ChatGPT, that goes into its memory. And that memory helps it to respond in a uniform manner again and again to me. But the memory is very limited. That's where Google Gemini is amazing. It has got a huge context window and great memory. So it's easier to operate. Now, I do have another message from Hot Dog, and I'm going to check out this message. Let me see why I'm not getting the full message on the screen. Have you ever looked into RKLB? I wrote it from 4 to 24 last year, but I got out. But it's an interesting space company, RKLB, Rocket Lab. Let me see. I have heard about it. I think it is Rocket Lab you're talking about. RKLB. Yes, I have seen it in the past. I consider it quite speculative for myself because I got into AV. So Hot Dog, you have the knack of picking up some good stocks. You made really good money out of it. But I think all of that probably is baked into this. But right now, I'm very curious to see what this shape is going to turn out to. Is it going to become a cup and handle pattern? In which case, I'll be definitely interested. I'll have to study this company and see where it is based and what kind of um, uh, business target it has got, what is its strategy, what is the competition in that niche, all those things. And also the impact of tariffs. Remember, there is tariff on steel, there is tariff on aluminum, and also the geopolitical situation is a bit tense. So within US, if Rocket Lab had to compete, is it going to be able to compete with the likes of Bezos's company or SpaceX? We'll have to see those things, and whether it has got defense application, and if it has got the US government as its client. So those are all the things that I would like to look at. So let me check that out, Hot Dog, and I will get back to you on Rocket Lab. So yeah, we have to check that out, and then we will know where it's going to go. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. I'll check it out, and I'll let you know about it. Next, let me go to the other stock that I'm very interested in, where I have invested and I'm at a loss. That company is called AVAV. So where is AVAV out here? Hello. AVAV is out here. Yeah. So here we go. Now, I had done a cup and handle pattern, and it's satisfactorily moving upwards. So hopefully it continues moving. In pre-market also, it's up 2.26. So my purchase price is above this line of resistance. The line of resistance is at 184, 182.06. My purchase price is somewhere above 184. I think it's around 185. I need to check my portfolio. I'm waiting for it to come up. They are looking pretty good to me. I still believe in this company. It's going to do very well. And another company that's going to do great, in my opinion, is Palantir. Where is Palantir? And I have changed my opinion about Palantir. I might go long on Palantir. This morning, they're down 0.79% in pre-market trades. I'll wait for an opportunity to enter Palantir, and I'll stay invested for a longer period of time. And I have my logic for it, and I'm going to share that with you. And I will also like to give you my thoughts about why I like Palantir, and I would like to hear from you what you think about it. If you had not seen my two of my videos that I did in a sequence, one was done last week and one was released yesterday. In that, what I was talking about was the impact of AI on the economy going forward, how jobs will change, how society will change, how civilization will change, and what the leaders need to do. So if you have not seen that, I would recommend that you have a look at that. It is episode 1 and episode 2. You'll see a small green dot on the top left corner of the thumbnail. That's how you can identify it. So you can check that out. While I was doing research for that, what I discovered is that because of all this tariff nonsense and because of the fact that the normal business has been disrupted, more and more companies are taking this opportunity to pilot AI into their operations, and in order to proof their company against what is happening outside by being more agile, by reconfiguring themselves, by selecting the proper product mix, by selecting the proper marketing strategy, by streamlining their own personnel and capital and everything. So they are using that. A lot of piloting activity has gone on in various companies, including the government. And Palantir is also one of the examples that I studied there, which is not only doing business with government, which is going to get renewed from time and again, but it's also doing business with companies, enabling them to look at their data in a much more optimum manner and get new insights. So I'm thinking that Palantir is a long-term player. And one of the reasons I must confess that I was negative about Palantir is Peter Thiel. I personally believe that both Peter Thiel and Elon Musk have really messed up the US government. And as a result, we retail investors are suffering in the market. And that has prevented me from looking favorably at Palantir and Tesla. But this year, I'm determined to leave my political biases aside and look at the pure merit of the company. And I must say that Palantir looks super. I mean, it's an opportunity that I have missed a long time ago. I'm not going to make the same mistake. And we have to be totally unpolitical, remove our political bias, and look at exactly what the company does, how good it is. And the owners of this company or the promoters might continue to do political things that we may not like, but we'll have to focus on the business case. That's my resolution. It may seem a little bit crass, but given my age profile and the fact that I'm risk averse, I don't think I want to lose much of my capital or opportunity to make some money. Hot Dog is saying that I also like the memory of ChatGPT, but Gemini research is pretty powerful. Yeah, so Gemini research is pretty powerful. And Hot Dog, what I found out was that ChatGPT memory, context memory gets full very quickly. I don't know if it's called context memory. So, for example, let us say I want to have each of my script coming out in a particular manner, where I start with a particular salutation, end in a particular manner, and I have things that I want to focus on. So if I give it a nature that I need the scripts to adhere to, that goes into a kind of memory, and that memory is very limited. So what happens is that as I continue to refine my script and my presentation style, it starts forgetting stuff because it doesn't have the capacity to keep all that memory. The second problem with ChatGPT in terms of memory is that each chat, you can have at the most 4 detailed chats. After that, the system becomes very slow. So you have to start a new chat. And when you start the new chat, you have to give it the context memory back again by wiping out the old one, because you have to take a summary out there. So all of those things makes ChatGPT a little bit difficult. But Gemini, the way I'm using it is I'm using multiple AI, using the best features of each one of them. And it's amazing what you can do with the free version. Hot Dog is saying, yeah, I totally agree. I'm morally against Palantir, but you are right. That is my bias. Yeah, Hot Dog, absolutely right. You know what? Any thinking person who looks at the world, right, instead of just skimming through it and just eating their food and enjoying their entertainment. Anyone who actually seriously looks around the world, they will have the kind of point of view I think that you and I are sharing, right? But that again becomes a big problem for us. Like every evening when I go for a walk with my wife, right, that's when we talk all meaningful things. I was talking to her the other day and I was saying that, you know what, we are super sensitive to what is happening in the world. A big portion of the world doesn't care. And we are getting bogged down by all of this, and it is preventing us from enjoying our life, and we are not taking full advantage of the opportunities that are there. But at the same time, what she said was, then you should realize the risk factor out there. The risk factor is that the people will suddenly change their mind and the markets will drop. So you have to be cognizant of that. And I told her that that's the most difficult thing to do. Having the bias keeps you super safe, but you lose a lot of profit making opportunity. I've lost a lot of opportunities on Tesla as well as Palantir. But not having that concept makes you totally dependent on the momentum, and the momentum can change anywhere and you can stand to lose a lot of money. So I'm trying to find the happy medium, Hot Dog. So I agree with you. Glad to see someone else who agrees with my thought process out here. The other one on which I'm having a huge negative is FNGD. Now, FNGD, I can see, has halted its downward slope, and the slope has started to become a little less steep. And I'm hopeful that with the gain of 1.69% this morning, and all the tariff mess and everything that we have discussed, we are going to see some movement here. And friends, I want to once again go back to Russell Index and show you the differential, the variance between where most of the American companies are and where the Mag 5 have taken the NASDAQ and S&P 500. You see the difference. That is so huge. So when the fall comes, it's going to be very big. So that's the reason why I am into FNGD. I have been into FNGD for a while now. And I'm in deep red. I must confess, I'm in deep red. I'm dollar cost averaging at any price that is below $9. So I'm dollar cost averaging 50 shares at a time. I have got more than 1,200 shares out there. But on the way back up, I'll be selling the shares as they become profitable, the ones that I bought to dollar cost average. And then my original holdings will go all the way up. And that's where I'll have the actual profit, because till then my losses will add up, because the way the trading platform looks at it is the average price minus the price at which you sell. But the way I'm looking at it is that if I bought 50 shares at 8.29, and if the share price goes to 9.29, and if I want to take that profit, I don't mind taking that profit, but I have bought down my average cost per share. So I'll become profitable much earlier. My break even comes much earlier now. And from that point onwards, I'll get more profits, and it's a wash at the end of the day. I'll continue having my dollar cost averaging, but I'll have less profits than if I had held all my shares till the very end. So that's the way I'm looking at it. I hope that strategy works for me. And if it does, I'll let you guys know. So that's the other share in which I'm net negative. Another share on which I'm net negative is Rigetti. So after I finish my days, the live stream every day, I would go and look at all these shares. So we had this double bottom here, which was supposed to deliver us all the way up to 15.92. We made a march all the way to 15.26, but that was it. And then we started coming down. And now I'm hopeful that this horizontal line of support will continue to support us. And if we move further, then this diagonal line of support will come into play, and it will continue to give us some support. Now, this diagonal line of support, I will have to change because it's no longer valid. We have broken down through that. So this is not going to be there anymore. So I would take a new diagonal line of support and put it out here for my purpose at this point of time. And this is my line of support. Just fine tuning it a little bit. Yeah. So for today, my support is going to be at 10.99. If we break down below 10.99, next support is 9.91. I'm not yet selling Rigetti. I sold 1,000 of them. Sorry, I sold 100 of them, and I incurred a loss of around 1,200 or 1,400 at that time. I've recovered all those losses by making profit elsewhere, and I'm positive in all my portfolios, but I still have 100 Rigetti, which is making loss. Let us see what happens with that. Now, for today, I think this is a forecast for Rigetti. So that's it. I lost money on HBI, Hainesbrand International. You might not have heard. For a long time, I was not talking about it. I was looking at this cup and handle pattern, which was formed over a long period of time. And I put that along with the tariff issues. And I thought that Hainesbrand International is going to do very well, but it was a total loss. I lost a lot of money on Hainesbrand, I'll confess. I bought TSLQ on Friday. I made some book profits out there, but I refused to book it. I bought it on Thursday. I was positive on that. On Friday morning, I decided that I'm going to keep it. I was trying to fight my bias. I decided to keep it, but I sold it in the negative when the market came down. So that's what happened with me for TSLQ. So there you have my story of what's happening. The other stock out here is Meta. Meta is going to have a support at 630.11 and a resistance at 654.88. So this is what I have today. And I think this kind of brings me to a free format. Let us go and have a look at genomics. Hot dog, if you want to look at some genomic stocks, we can do that right now. There was a stock that one of our subscribers had brought to my attention, PODD. This is a very expensive stock. It's opening, it's negative in the pre-market session. It's down 0.31% at 324.01. So I would consider this to be a huge flagpole, and we are starting a channel. I think I would say a bull flag out here. I would like to consider this to be a bull flag. And we'll have to see whether it turns out into a bullish pennant or a bull flag. And then that will have to break out on the upside. The problem for PODD, in my opinion, are twofold. The first one is that it is overbought. This is a jump post earnings where they overperformed in EPS by 29% and they overperformed in revenue by 4.73%. And they have done extremely well, huge gap up. And this is a very bullish situation to be in. But the caution is because of their overbought status, which needs to cool down, which is what probably is happening out here. And the MACD is turning over to the bearish side. And I think it's already become bearish. So once the MACD becomes bearish, that adds a little bit of negativeness to the stock. So we'll see how this stock performs going forward. And I'm just going to make the size of these charts a little big. There's another company I'm continuing to follow off the records. That is PGen, because they're going to get a BLA FDA approval for a therapy somewhere in August. So I didn't want to lose track of that. And the stock is consolidating nicely, but if it comes somewhere near 1.13, I don't mind buying 1,000 stocks. Right now, we are still further away from August. So once the public memory goes down, this stock will also come down. Meanwhile, I'll take the opportunity one of these days to study their financials, look at what their cash runway is like, to make sure that I'm not going to get into another Bluebird or another Ginkgo Bioworks or something, which is going to, or SQZ Biotech, which is going to create another hole in my portfolio. Illumina is another company that I'm in love with. It's going to come up because I'm going to show you something positive for Illumina. You can quickly recognize what this is. This is a bull channel for us. And I'm going to fine tune this bull channel a little bit. So this is a very gentle bull channel. So I'm thinking as we keep on marching to the future, we are going to be able to break through this huge area of supply. And Illumina should come out well. And somewhere around July, August timeframe, I'm hoping that this China issue will be resolved and the GOP will start looking at retaining the House and the Senate for the second term, and they will then start listening to the people and being more sensitive to the headlines. I'm hoping that that will probably help create a much better international relationship so that businesses can start reducing the cost of products within the United States, and Illumina could be a beneficiary out there. PSEB has been getting some traction in China because Illumina is locked out. So that's a little bit of a positive for PSEB. I've done a video on both Illumina and PSEB in the recent past. You can have a look at that if you want. So that's what I have here. PSEB is looking very weak, even though I don't know who will take them over. I don't think Illumina would have the appetite to try and take over PSEB. They have done it once. And then their experience with Grail is going to prevent the new CEO from venturing in those areas. Someone like Thermo Fisher also may not touch PSEB because then it will be attracting the attention of the Federal Trade Commissioners. So that said, PSEB probably might find a home somewhere with one of those technology majors. Let us see what happens going forward. But right now, in this space, I'm more focused on Illumina, and I think the next best bet is Thermo Fisher. Those are the two companies that are actually doing some good business out here. Vertex is another company that I'm continuing to look at because they're also in the type 1 diabetes space. They're also a collaborator for CRISPR Therapeutics, and jointly they share the future for Casgevy. So that's another good place that that we can put our money into, I think, Vertex. Right now, Vertex is consolidating. This is a bear flag, and we have there's a bear channel with this flagpole. Bear flagpole is very long out here. So if this bear flag breaks down, it can go further down. And what could be the catalyst for these kind of things? I think there is many. We have still not heard about Trump's pharma tariffs. He was talking about putting restrictions on pharma. He had also come out with the executive orders ordering drug companies to reduce prices. So we might probably see some action in that area, because if it becomes very hot with the tariffs that he's already working on, for example, what Trump does is that he throws another big bomb when something else becomes very nasty. Now, with the courts putting a hold on his tariff, the courts mentioned that they're putting a hold on only certain tariffs that he did. So the tariffs on steel and aluminum were not in that. So he went ahead and immediately increased those tariffs to 50% from 25%. So this is the kind of activity Trump does. That is his pattern. So I'm expecting that if all these tariffs become hot and get challenged in the court and something comes in there, then he will throw a bomb into the pharmaceutical sector. And that's when I think Vertex might probably end up dropping. And that would be a great opportunity to buy Vertex. So that's what I'm thinking. And that's the way I'm going to look at it. So with that said, what else do I have here which I want to look at? That's about it. That's about it. So guys, let us go and look at S&P 500 futures and see what is happening out there. Where are we today at this point of time? We are still under this diagonal line of resistance. Just going to make this bigger for you so that you can see the candle. So we are still within this diagonal line of resistance, and this becomes a bullish pennant. Bullish pennants definitely most of the time break out on the upside, but there are times when they break out on the downside as well. So we have to watch out for those patterns. And is it possible that we are going to form this as a head? So this as a head, this is already one of the shoulders. This could be a head, and then we could have another shoulder and then come down. That is one possibility. The other possibility is we come down and then we go up again, and then we have a double bottom. So anything is possible. We have to follow this closely. Right now, futures are looking bearish. MACD is bearish. Momentum is also dropping. NASDAQ also is having a similar pattern. Right now, NASDAQ futures are at 21,251.25. And if you look at this green line of support we have out here, it's at 21,275. We are just below that. We could even open up above that support. So I'm going to leave it as it is, assuming it to be a support. So that's one of the supports for today. And the other support is also going to be this diagonal line of support that we have drawn based on these pivot points that we have out here. And yeah, so let us see what happens today. This is not going to be a support for today. Sorry, this is going to be a resistance for today when we open, because if we open above this line of support out here, then I think our resistance is going to be 21,349. Right now we are at 21,257. So the scale of this map is such that those huge numbers do not seem to reflect as well when you look at the chart out here. They seem like a small space, but the numbers are huge. That's what I have for you here. Now, that's about it, my friends. I don't have anything else. I've run out of ideas. If you have any thoughts that you want to share with me, we'll do that. Or else, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream and just get ready. And Hot Dog, please give me an idea if you like this format that we are working on. We could continue doing this. People can start joining us, and we can have unformatted discussion, which will then drive us more towards what is more interesting to the audience and what is more contemporary, rather than me doing the same set of stocks again and again. So please let me know what you think about it. And that could be a feedback point for me. Okay, then, friends, I'll catch up with you again. Bye for now. Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks, Hot Dog. Wife is wise. Everybody's wife is wise. If you don't listen to the wife, you will become wise, because she'll put you through some things. The dog house is always there. I can live with my dogs. Yeah. This format is better. Okay. Thanks, Hot Dog. Thank you very much. Would you like to hang around and ask any questions or share any ideas? That would be great. Or else I would say that, it's bye for now. There's a lag in the stream. I don't know how much that lag is. So I'm going to wait a few minutes before I end the stream. Tell me more about it in the chat, hot dog. What exactly, what kind of steps do you do? Maybe I'll ask ChatGPT. Let me ask ChatGPT. That'll be easier than you typing out here. I'll ask ChatGPT how I can create a secondary memory section. I'll ask it if it can show me some workaround around that limitation. That's the best use for AI, right? So that's counterintuitive. Okay, then, hot dog. I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Bye for now. Thanks for your company. See you tomorrow.